If your calendar didn't change, your operations didn't either. Stop hiring tasks, start owning outcomes. Here's what a ROP or remote operations partner is, how it differs from a VA agency or a BPO, and when to use launch, delegate, or automate with Yokly. A ROP is a team that owns a result. You get a manager layer to coordinate work, a weekly KPI or scorecard to review, and playbooks for continuity. Instead of managing multiple helpers, you review the outcome or the result. So what's the difference between a ROP, a VA agency, or a BPO? Well, a VA agency, you work with a virtual assistant, which checks boxes that you assign. A BPO will sell you seats that you still have to manage. A ROP will take the responsibility for the outcome with management, playbooks, and escalation built in. That ownership is why you and your team's calendar finally breathes. So here's the ladder. You're a solopreneur, you're a small team, you're in the launch stage. Buy back your hours fast. You're wearing multiple hats. You're trying different things. You're doing this. You're experimenting with this process, this software, this ability, this feature, this person, this helper on your team. Clean up your inbox. Get the time back, because without time, you also cannot delegate. So before you delegate, figure out what works by trial and error. Recurring tasks. Find out what is a system and start to build that so that you can build capacity. Second, delegate. This is when you turn those proven systems, these processes, your trial and error, your softwares, and then turn those into a expected or standing outcome. Add a manager. Run a weekly scorecard. KPIs, metrics. Document these processes. Document how every step works with SOPs, training manuals, and just review the exceptions and calibrate the outcomes. Finally, automate. So after you figured out what works and what doesn't, focus on the things that does work. Maybe these are tasks. Maybe these are processes that have high volume and low variance. These are things that you can use a lot of these AI tools that are out there and productize these tasks. Put these repeat systems and processes into automation with the proper guardrails. Here's a quick example. Multi-helper chaos. So you've built up your company. You're building up processes. You have helpers in-house. You have vendors on the outside, contractually for projects. You're on the launch stage. You're getting things moving. You're figuring out what works. Now it's time to move to delegate. You have a manager. You have KPIs. You do weekly reviews. You're managing and overseeing processes and systems instead of being in it. Chaos becomes consistency through the tasks and then through a owned outcome or result. So a ROP is not a VA agency. An ROP or remote operations partner owns the results with management layers, playbooks and systems, and escalation processes built in. So start where you are. Launch to gain time back so you can take a step back and strategize and get more control. Second, delegate for consistency. Build systems and processes. Figure out what works. Lastly, automate when you're ready. Book a discovery call with Yokly or watch our playlist to pick your start.